Hi, this is Alex. Alex is 25 years old and lives and studies in Kufstein. He really likes the beautiful mountains and the stunning nature around Kufstein. Therefore, he plans to stay in Kufstein for long term. So Alex really cares about the people, the environment and the local businesses in Kufstein. Alex recognizes that more and more of his friends and family are buying products online from the big international companies. He is wondering why they are not shopping in the local stores in Kufstein, because they are also offering cool and modern stuff. One day in the newspaper, Alex read that the unemployment rate in Kufstein doubled in the last year. Also did he remember that two of his favorite stores in Kufstein had to close because of less and less customers. Alex knows that this trend will have negative effects for the whole region, because the unemployment rate will grow and the purchasing power will decrease. He knows that something needs to be changed as soon as possible, otherwise Kufstein will suffer from an economic downturn. One day, Alex saw a documentary about the Wörgl experiment in television. Wörgl, a small town near Kufstein, decided to implement its own currency, in parallel to the official Austrian shilling. Wörgl was experiencing high unemployment and many of the people couldn't find a job in 1932 during the Great Depression because they were jobless for a long time. Under Michael Unterguckenberger, former mayor of Wörgl, a new currency called labor notes was introduced to Wörgl. Unlike a typical currency, these notes carried an expiration date. In order to prevent expiration, currency holders had to purchase stamps that they would affix to their money, keeping it active. This charge was set to 1% of the currency's value per month. Thus, to keep 100 shillings of labor notes active, one would pay 12 shillings a year. So they applied Silvio Geselle's theory of fading money. The new currency discouraged holding cash, setting people on the habit of expending money as soon as it was earned. If holding cash were really money's defect, then this should provide an economic benefit. Indeed, this spending, encouraged by the currency, stimulated further employment and encouraged skeptical businesses to accept the money. The tax on the currency also provided the local government with a new source of revenue. The implementation of this local currency system in Wörgl led to many different positive effects. So, the unemployment in Wörgl dropped, the purchasing power of the local people increased, therefore also the construction activity was growing, and also a very important aspect, the regional community was strengthened. This sounds very good and interesting to Alex, and he is wondering if such a system could work nowadays for Kufstein as well. Alex is so fascinated by this topic that he starts doing a little bit of research about complementary currency systems. But what are complementary currency systems? By this, a specific unit or system of account that complements the official currency and has been developed by a group of agents, individuals, economic and social structures, local authorities or banks are meant. That is formed a local network with a view to accounting for and regulating exchanges of goods and services. From a theoretical viewpoint, CCS are money. They fulfill the main functions of the latter by acting as a medium of exchange and unit of account within a defined geographic region or community, and in many cases also as a store of value. Then Alex comes across regional currencies. Regional currencies are a form of complementary currencies applied in a specific region, also known as local currencies. In addition to the global currency system, for example in Europe the euro, they are introduced in a specific region. Regional money is similar to a shopping voucher and are used by more than one company and participants in the systems. Most of the time they need to be used within a certain time frame to guarantee that the purchasing power is used immediately to improve the situation in the region.
Currently, there are 12 systems available in Austria and over 80 in the DACH region. It's important to say that these regional currencies are all not a currency in its own, but legal voucher systems in addition to the euro. The first one is the Guckenberger Institute. It was founded by the former mayor of Wörgl, which is still working in the area of regional currencies. The second one is the Chiemgauer regional currency, which is used in Brinam-Chiemsee and was founded by students. The Waldviertler is applied in the Lower Austria region. The Vitaler is available in whole Vorarlberg, and there are 3% off on purchases paid with the Vitaler. Already 10% of the inhabitants of Neunkirchen an der Vöckla in Upper Austria are using the regional currency Neuki. And last but not least, the Langenecker Talente is used in a small city called Langeneck in Bregenzer Wald. Alex remembers that he just learned something about complexity thinking and its integral part systemic thinking in class. He is sure that it would be great to apply a systemic thinking approach to his ideas of a regional currency for Kufstein.
Now Alex wants to use his gained knowledge about systemic thinking in practice. He wants to create a systemic thinking loop to show and understand the effects of implementing a regional currency system in Kufstein. Alex starts with the act of buying products online. More and more people buy online from the international companies via app because of the cheap prices. This leads to an increase in market share for the big international companies. This will have a negative effect for the local stores in Kufstein, and it will decrease the employment rate in the region. This again will decrease the purchasing power of the people, and therefore the people will again buy their stuff online for the cheap prices from the big international stores. Now Alex is done with the first loop, which shows the effects of buying online from international companies. Now back to the starting point from buying online. He goes to buying online from a regional app. This will support the local companies and will create more regional workplaces. This will strengthen the regional community and increase the purchasing power. Also, the awareness about regional quality will increase. Now Alex is also done with the second loop, which shows the effects of buying online but from regional products with an app. Now to the third loop, the introduction of the regional currency. The introduction of the regional currency will increase the local purchasing power. This will also increase the use of the regional app. This will create more regional workplace and it will increase the purchasing power. So far so good, thinks Alex. Now he is also done with the third and last loop of his systemic thinking approach about implementing a regional currency in Kufstein. He just needs to add the dependencies and relationships of the single steps now.
After Alex included his primary ideas into the systemic thinking approach, he starts to reconsider all aspects of the loop and optimizes it because he wants to present his thoughts to the mayor of Kufstein. At first, Alex is a little bit tense while entering the office of the mayor, but as soon as he starts to talk about the advantages of community currencies in Kufstein, all nervousness is gone. The mayor is listening attentively to Alex's thoughts and he really likes his enthusiasm about this topic. After reinforcing Alex's ideas, the mayor expresses some challenges and possible problems that come to his mind. He is thinking about some possible legal problems because it's a gray zone if currencies are legally allowed to be conducted. Actually, there has to be a contract within the region and throughout all participants, and if, for example, professional services and work come into place, it might be needed to follow actual trade regulations given by the state. One further challenge could be the regional aspect, as community currencies can't be easily conducted to a wider audience. There are also extra costs because the administration needs to be set up according to the specific needs. But all in all, the mayor is convinced about the ideas. Alex and the mayor created a very good concept regarding the implementation of the community currency in Kufstein. They agreed on developing a specific community app and an online token to pay. The currency for Kufstein has faces of important people out of the region on it, and until now the tokens can only be used in Kufstein. For the future, there would be the possibility to also open up the system for the neighbor regions within Europe. This can either work with a decreasing value the farther it is away from the place of good or service creation. But it has to be kept in mind that for online services, it's very important to work within the system. Alex is very happy that he was able to convince the mayor and that they found a very good solution to improve the actual situation in Kufstein.